Hello, extraordinary individuals. How is everyone doing? It's a beautiful Friday, so I hope that means everybody is doing well and anticipating a nice weekend one way or another. This video is mostly going to be geared toward some of you newbies. So if you are fairly new to diamond painting, stay tuned. The rest of you who are, diamond painting veterans, you might get a refresher too and just find it interesting. So let's get to it. Because I inadvertently purchased the same canvas twice from the same company in two different sizes, I thought this might be a good time to show you guys what a difference 10 centimeters can make. And, and where it can make a difference and where it's not really making a difference. So first of all, I will tell you that my husband did the 20 by 20. I did the 30 by 30. So thank you, husband, for doing that 20 by 20. I'm going to show you the smaller of the two first. Then I will show you the larger of the two. And then I'm going to show you side by side so that you really have a chance to see. Now, first one is going to be the littler one. So here we are with the 20 by 20. Now, it's cute. It's, it's got its moments here and there. It's, about what you'd expect from a 20 by 20. Now, the rule of thumb is the larger the canvas, the more detail you get. Now, that's not always true. There are other types of canvases and types of images where, it's just not a fantastic render in any size. So that would be an exception to the rule. Or you get, an image that has some blurry spots and it just sort of stays blurry and kind of just, that's what happens. And so those canvases, size really isn't the determining factor. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So this is our cute little dragon. Oh, I see there's a drill that popped off already. I will say the glue was not fantastic with this canvas. So yeah, we've had a few drills that have tried to escape. But that's 823 and we have plenty of that. So I'll just put another one on there. But anyway, in terms of quality of image, it's a 20 by 20. It's a little smaller than 8 by 8. It's probably closer to a 6 by 6. It's not terrible. I mean, you can see what the image is. It's clearly a little dragon, and it's clearly an Easter basket with eggs in it. So, and there's clearly, colors in the background that are obviously supposed to be additional eggs. They look a little blobby, but not terrible considering. Even if they were blobs, it would just be pretty to have those colors in the background anyway. So, and they used a darker purple color here for the shading on the dragon's face. So yeah, and all in all, not bad. This one only had 14 colors. So I think they made good use of what they worked with here. I think it came out pretty cute. And that would be fun to have around as part of your decorating or to put in a kid's room or, whatever it was that floated your boat. So, okay, that's the 20 by 20. All right, now, here it is again in a 30 by 30. Okay. So the picture does have a little bit more definition. I think there's more detail that you can see in the image. Not hugely, but a little bit. So, and you can see here, instead of using just the dark purple like they did in the small one, they used some of the lighter lavender color too. So they did a little extra shading because they had more room to do it. If your image is only this big, there's not a lot of room for shading on that, okay? So I will hold this up a little bit closer. And I will say both of them had really decent shine, which I thought was nice. Not all of the budget companies have really fantastic diamonds. As you guys know, diamonds are not created equal. Sometimes, especially in budget companies, they're pretty great, and sometimes they're kind of awful. So, yeah. You can kind of see a little bit more definition in the little blobs that are supposed to be Easter eggs, more so on this side. But yeah, so all in all though, you know, and I think there's, you know, a little more definition, and you can see the eggs more, and you know, you probably could even count them on this canvas if you wanted to know how many there were, and you know, that kind of stuff, where you kind of lose the ability to do that on the smaller one. But again, this is the 30 by 30, so you're only gleaning 10 centimeters over the small one, okay? But it does give you a little more clarity. Now, would it make a difference in a 40 by 40? You know, it's hard to say. I kind of doubt it on this particular image, and I'm going to show you now the side by side so you'll know what I'm talking about. So I may have to move you guys out a little bit to get both of them in frame. Okay, so first of all, if you see the little one, you might think, wow, if I had this in a larger size, maybe I would be able to see the entire basket handle, and maybe I would get, you know, more exposure, and I would get more things in the background. Well, not really, okay? I mean, even the larger of the two images, you're getting the exact same image. Really, that's it. The difference mostly is, like I said, is they have more room to do things like shading. See, this one, there's not a lot of room. I mean, the whole image isn't that big. So, you know, you've got a little bit of shading, but not anywhere near as much as this one. Okay. And also, the image itself is exactly the same. You know, what's missing up here on this one is still missing up here on this one. How much background and perspective to the size of the image is exactly the same as it is here. So I suspect if you had this in a 40 by 40 and put it here against the 30 by 30 and the 20 by 20, you'd have the exact identical image. So I want you to know about this. First of all, any of you guys that think, you know, that feel the need to measure your canvases to see if they're exactly 30 by 40 or they're exactly 20 by 30 or they're exactly 40 by 50. 10 centimeters, give or take, is not going to make a big difference in your life. It's just not. You're not getting anything extra or losing anything extra necessarily by those 10 centimeters. Now, if you're measuring because you have been shorted drills, or you have, you know, you ordered a 40 by 50 and it comes out to be a 35 by 25, okay, then that's different. Then yes, you're being shorted part of your canvas because you literally ordered another size. But if you have a 5 to 10 centimeter difference in your canvas, number one, you're always going to have some difference because the printers that print diamond paintings require a safe zone. They have to have a certain amount of edge around the picture so that they have enough room to make sure that they don't cut into your image once the printing is over and they've added the legend and the whole thing. So there's always going to be a little bit. And then when you add the legends, now this one has a legend on both sides. This one also has a legend on both sides. Okay, you know, that's going to take some room. They probably, and this is speculation, but they probably do that to utilize the amount of border that they are required to have to print the image for as a diamond painting. Same thing up here with the branding and the information and, you know, the whole thing. So yeah, so that, you know, it's probably not costing you anything to have 10 centimeter border or less. Now, if you get into the point where now you've got, you know, 15 or 20 centimeters difference, okay, that's different because then you're really getting into a different size canvas altogether. And so that might be concerning depending on what you think that you've lost. But that's why I wanted to point out here that you didn't lose anything because it's identical in the photos. You're still losing perspective-wise the same amount. no matter which one of these you do, even with the 10 centimeter difference. So that is the situation. So yeah, it was an interesting thing to do. And again, this was done by two different diamond painters. You know, I did the larger one, my husband did the smaller one. So it gives you a chance to see different work too. I don't know that it necessarily mattered in the render, but you know, maybe it did. I mean, we don't diamond paint identically. He's kind of a religiously single placer kind of a guy, and I multi-place anytime I can. So there's that factor. But at the end of the day, when you get the final result, they're both done. So there you are. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little opportunity to see what a 10 centimeter difference does or doesn't do. Now I will tell you, this one at the time of purchase was $2.11. This one was $3.98. So you're talking $2 versus $4. And again, it's really a personal preference. I would be fine with either of these. Would not bother me one iota. So it's up to you guys. But this is exactly what you can expect depending on the size. So when you are looking at your canvases, especially square canvases, because I think they're pretty standard. You know, they're either 30 by 30, 40 by 40, or occasionally 45 by 45 or 50 by 50. You know, it's 10 centimeters, so I would say whatever fits your budget and whatever looks the way you like it to look is going to be fine for you to purchase. But again, these two things together are $6 roughly, you know, give a few pennies. So you can reproduce this experiment if you would like to. I think these are both Temu. It's either Temu or Fancels, but there are several canvases that come in more than one size. So if you're really curious or you want to delve further into this, I would recommend going ahead and getting a canvas that you really like in two different sizes. I mean, maybe you want to get a 20 by 20 and a 40 by 40, which would give you a 20 centimeter difference, and see what it looks like. You know, you do you. Whatever you would like to do, I think would be fine. I just wanted to give you a quick glimpse so that there would be, you know, an opportunity to see what the same canvas looks like completed in two different sizes. So you can decide for yourself. Now, one thing I do want to point out is, because you might have noticed that the faces look like two totally different colors. They have similar colors, but again, this one has more colors in it, because this painting had 22 colors. This one only had 14. So they could play a little bit more with this one, with the shading, with, you know, where they put certain drills, how many drills they put in together, you know, especially with the Easter eggs, because they're already colorful, so they kind of had carte blanche on there. So, but it's interesting how it comes out using the same color palette for the most part, and looking like two totally different skin tones, right? I suspect this might be some of the reason why when you get diamond painting canvases that have skin tone that's, you know, brown or darker, or, you know, ruddy complected, or any of that, I think that's why it's hard for them to match the skin, because there's just only so much room, which means they only have so many diamonds they can put in that section. And sometimes it just doesn't come off very well. And sometimes the dye lot for the drills comes out looking very different than the picture of the ink color that they got. So, you know, you have to take those kind of things into consideration too. So, but, you know, a couple of things. Bigger's not always better. Smaller's not always terrible. You definitely get more definition. The clarity is better. This is a clearer picture than this one. In fact, this one looked fine by itself, but next to this one, it almost looks a little bit blurry. So, you know, all I can tell you is that it was very interesting to do and to see when it was completed. And I would definitely say, if you want to experiment a little bit and, you know, kind of see what's, you know, if you can find any more of a difference, or just to have around to show other diamond painters, or if you're getting somebody, new into diamond painting, you know, I think it's fun to have the ability to show them, hey, when we tell you larger, this is kind of some of the reasons why larger can sometimes be important. And again, it depends on the level of detail of your diamond painting. Now, this diamond painting image had a lot of detail, like a lot. It had multiple colors, it had mixtures of colors, it had tiny detail, like the Easter eggs are very tiny. It had a little design on the basket, right? Plus the details of all the horns on the dragon's head and all the colors in his face and his eyes and everything. So this was a lot to have on any image. So really, I think this size especially is impressive for how much is crammed into this, and you can still tell what it is. So that's sort of amazing. And again, though, I think if you want to make sure that you maximize it, I mean, the larger you go, the more you can maximize it. So, but again, totally up to you. I don't think there's anything wrong with either image. It's really, really and truly a personal preference. But you definitely get more detail where they can use more drills to do more things. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this. If you enjoyed this kind of a video, I'll be interested to hear what you guys have to say. But yeah, when you consider that there are 8 colors different, 14 to 22, you know, it's interesting. This one to me has a warmer hue, warmer color scheme. This one's cooler. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. And again, if you have any questions, if I can answer them, I will certainly tell you. If I can't, I will try to tell you who might be able to. So, all right, guys, I hope everybody has a very wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. And always, always be a dragon. Spread your wings. Protect those you love. Have fiery passion. Stay strong, slay your fears, and always fly high, rise up, and soar. All right, guys, have a wonderful day, evening, weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.